We have some absolutely massive news to report on here for the San Antonio Spurs that we didn't see coming this soon, but we thought something might happen within the organization sooner rather than later. We are also going to break down exactly what went wrong for the Memphis Grizzlies as an NBA executive has spoke out on the situation and the end of their tumultuous season. I'm your host, Joey Mercer. This is another episode of Joe Mercer Sports Podcast. And before we get into it there today, I just want to remind everyone to go down below and hit that subscribe button if you are watching this content. Turn on the bell for notifications. It's absolutely free, and we'll be able to keep you up to date with everything you need to know on the NBA because about 99% of you that watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel. So make sure if you aren't already to go down below, hit that subscribe button, and then we'll be able to bring you all the content that you need to follow on the NBA and all my takes here on them. So without further ado, let's get into the topic at hand there today. We've got a couple to go over. First being breaking news from Shams Charania saying Gregg Popovich will no longer be head coach of the San Antonio Spurs and is transitioning full-time to team president, sources told ESPN. The iconic Popovich is a basketball Hall of Famer, the NBA's all-time winningest coach, and led the Spurs to 5 championships. So absolutely massive news, of course, for the Spurs organization and the NBA as a whole. Make sure to go out and check the full resume for Gregg Popovich as he's coached Team USA, been around the league for quite some time. I believe 1988 is when he first entered the NBA through the staff or front office sections of each team. But yeah, make sure to go check out everything he's done for the league because it's absolutely incredible breaking down his story. It's been a rough 5 years for him. He suffered a stroke in November, and that's not exactly what you want to see with Gregg Popovich. He's getting older now at 76 years old, and it's good to see him be able to take a step back. But who is stepping into his position? Well, that would be Mitch Johnson. He's going to be the franchise's next head coach, sources have told ESPN. Johnson has been an assistant in Spurs program for a decade, took over as interim coach in November, and now earns job as Gregg Popovich's successor. So not a huge difference there, but they are able to keep continuity with this because it was then reported by choosing Johnson as the organization's new coach, the Spurs maintained the continuity and through line laid out by Popovich and CEO R.C. Buford, as well as general manager Brian Wright, who was hired in the same 2016 offseason as Johnson. So they're able to keep some continuity there for sure around Victor Wembanyama, Stephon Castle now, and there's rumors of some other players joining them in the offseason, which we'll touch on in a different episode. Make sure to check out that one when it drops as well. You will definitely know what that one's on, let me tell you, because there's a lot of rumors floating around with a lot of players wanting to join Wemby as he looks like the next face of the NBA. The next thing that we've got to talk about here is something a little different. We just brushed on the fact that the San Antonio Spurs, of course, are going a different direction. Well, maybe it's time for the Memphis Grizzlies to do the same. They got absolutely wiped out by the Oklahoma City Thunder in the first round of the playoffs, and not necessarily shame there because the Thunder are such a great team, winning 68 games in the regular season, but the Grizzlies just did not stand a chance, and it had a lot to do with Ja Morant obviously missing some time, but not enough to make a difference in the series. I just mean they wouldn't have probably lost those last 2 games. They might have been able to win one because it was a really close game, but it's hard to say. The team, when Ja Morant isn't there, is around 500. With them, they're much better. But is it time to move on from Ja? Well, that could be what they should look into. They obviously got rid of Taylor Jenkins, which was a surprise firing, and a lot of it had to do with Ja Morant not being happy with how he was involved in the offense and a lack of touches. However, the team struggled down the stretch, and now is this really the situation they want to go with Tuamas Salo? I'm not really sure. This report from an executive says the Marcus Smart trade actually killed them. The Grizzlies have tried to take big swings in the trade market at various times in the last 3 years, including engaging the Phoenix Suns on Kevin Durant this year. However, the biggest one that actually got completed was dealing Tyus Jones and 2 first-rounders for Marcus Smart when he was just past his sell-by date in the summer of 2023. It's somewhat ironic given that the Grizzlies have nailed so many small moves in the same period. The Marcus Smart trade killed them, as one rival exec put it, costing them draft assets and a $20 million salary slot for a whole lot of not much. On a roster that couldn't afford a miss once Jackson, Bane, and Morant graduated to expensive veteran deals, Smart was nearly dead money. He was neither healthy nor happy in Memphis, and his level of play dropped off even when he was active. The Grizzlies ended up giving Washington another first just to move off the last year of his deal. And that is true. I mean, them acquiring Marcus Smart was not exactly the move or fit that they needed at all. And that could have ultimately ended things for the Grizzlies as they look to take the next step and become serious contenders. But another thing to look at is this thing here. Talking about Ja Morant. Morant's thin frame also takes a pounding on his drives to the hoop and has injured on 3 collision plays this year alone. Twice when he was undercut midair and once on a crunching screen by Daniel Tice. He hasn't played more than 6 consecutive games since March of 2023, which is a crazy stat, and he got the 6 just once in that time. Morant played only 57 games, even if his best season, and has averaged 44 over the last 4 years. Morant also has some work to do on other fronts. League sources I spoke with wondered whether the Grizzlies had the right coaches and staff in place to reach Morant, as his multiple suspensions in 2023 don't seem to have changed him, and that is from the New York Times. Crazy to speak on there. Obviously, he missed some time because of the off-court antics, but there have been lots of injuries as well. Ja has a very sporadic and crazy style of play. He likes to be in the air a lot. He kind of tried to change those things up this year, but he really can't shoot the ball either. Is this the guy that you want to be the face of your franchise? I say no. I think they need to move on from him in Memphis. I think they need a new start. I think Desmond Bane is a great complementary piece for any star player, and I'm not so high on Jaren Jackson Jr. either. He's a great weak side defender, a great help defender on ball. He's fine. It's nowhere near the depoy candidate place that they had put him this year. I definitely think he's regressed a little bit on the defensive side, which is a hot take, I know, but that's just what I'm seeing from the eye test of me watching him. And then the rest of the team, it's really not falling into place too well. I like Scottie Pippen Jr. Edie has some potential, of course, but realistically, they do need a guy there that can be the face of the franchise, and I don't think that's Ja Morant. And I think Desmond Bane fits well with a lot of different players. So you have a lot there that you can build upon. And ultimately, they just need to move on from Ja. I think you can start Scottie Pippen Jr. If they can go out and get a wing that can do a little bit of everything, be the face of the team, that's exactly what I think they need to do. But let me know what you think about these two things in the comment section below. Lots to think about there for sure with Gregg Popovich finally stepping down as head coach. It's time for sure. Hopefully Pop can get some rest now, and much needed at that. And then also take some stress off him in his everyday life. That would mean a lot. I know he loves basketball. It's good to see him sticking around with the franchise in some way, but he needs to take the backseat to the coaching for sure. But then the Grizzlies, what changes do they need to make? Is it another head coaching change? Do they need to get rid of Ja Morant finally? Or is there another move that I'm not talking about here that they could make? You let me know down in the comment section below. Make sure to like the video if you made it this far, subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell for notifications, and I'll see you all in the next one.